Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow and the world has profoundly changed. Not because of war or a pandemic, but because something massive is missing. The entire United States of America, land, cities, people just gone. Vanished. Overnight, leaving Canada and Mexico staring at a massive new coastline and a giant hole in, well, everything. So what happens next? Chaos. A wave of uncertainty hitting every part of our world. It's a wild thought, right? A global superpower, poof, gone without explanation. That's what we're diving into today. What would happen immediately and in the long run? Those initial hours of disbelief, they'd swiftly escalate into a worldwide crisis, something modern history has never witnessed. Every country, stock market, and international agreement would be thrown into complete disarray. Day 1, pure panic. Global communication systems reliant on US tech would flicker and die. Planes en route to the US, they'd disappear from radar, their fate unknown. The UN would scramble for emergency meetings, likely hitting gridlock. Stock markets globally wouldn't just crash, they'd plummet endlessly. The US dollar, the bedrock of global finance, instantly a historical artifact, its paper form worthless without a nation backing it. Canada and Mexico would suddenly face thousands of miles of new, untamed coastlines, an ecological and geographical nightmare. With the US Navy's patrols gone, expect pirates to make a swift comeback in international waters. This isn't just politics or economics, it's about the survival of our interconnected world. When the US vanishes, it leaves an enormous power vacuum. Alliances like NATO or Pacific Defense Pacts, stripped of their main support, would likely disintegrate. Nations dependent on US protection would face a terrifying new world, potentially igniting new arms races now that American deterrence is gone. Authoritarian regimes might seize this as a golden opportunity. China and the EU would probably try to step up, but neither possesses the comprehensive military, economic, and diplomatic clout the US had. This could fast-track us into a more chaotic, multipolar world with countries like India and Russia also flexing their muscles. Even global institutions like the World Bank and IMF would be shaken to their core, possibly fragmenting or facing new rival organizations. That initial financial shockwave? Merely an appetizer. With the US dollar gone as the world's primary reserve currency, we'd face an unparalleled financial crisis. Trillions of dollars in assets would simply vanish. Countries would scramble for a new, stable currency, likely causing wild exchange rate swings and even hyperinflation. Global trade, heavily reliant on US markets and the dollar, would essentially collapse. Expect massive disruptions in supply chains for everything from food and oil to your new phone. Economies of nations that were major trading partners with the US would tank almost immediately. With the US Federal Reserve gone, organizing a global response to this economic nightmare would be incredibly difficult. Massive worldwide job losses would follow as industries reliant on US consumption or investment crumble. The world would become a much poorer place, facing a depression dwarfing historical recessions. The societal impacts would be colossal. Losing tens of millions is an unimaginable tragedy, with ripple effects spreading everywhere. What becomes of people from other countries living, working, or studying in the US? The disappearance of American science and tech leadership, particularly from Silicon Valley, would mean a severe slowdown in global innovation. Major tech companies blinking out of existence would cripple many digital services we depend on. Hollywood and American pop culture's vast global footprint vanishing would leave a massive void. While other cultures might gain space, a drop in readily available information and entertainment is likely. American universities, hubs for global talent, vanishing would profoundly disrupt research and education. The psychological impact would be immense. The sudden absence of a nation that, for generations, was either a leader or a counterpoint would force global soul-searching and a redrawing of cultural lines. So, if the United States just disappeared, it wouldn't be like merely erasing a country from the map. It would be like ripping a core component out of our modern world. Immediately, we're talking political, economic, and cultural chaos. A vast power vacuum would open up, breeding instability, and the economic crash would completely redraw global trade. The impact on culture and science would be felt for generations. Yes, other countries and new alliances would eventually emerge and find a new equilibrium, but achieving that would be a long, perilous journey. This scenario forces us to confront how interconnected everything is, and the monumental, often unacknowledged role a single nation can play. That empty space where the US used to be would serve as a chilling reminder of how quickly things we take for granted can simply vanish, leaving the rest of us to navigate a future that's suddenly, and terrifyingly, wide open. What do you think would be the very first thing the world would notice? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this got you thinking, hit that like button. And hey, why not subscribe for more deep dives into wild what-if questions? Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next one.